Yellow, fellow people, and today we'll be taking a look at the Transformers Legacy Voyager class GC Universe Jhiaxus. So, before we take a look at the figure that single-handedly carried this line, let's just take a look at this. Oh, frick. This packaging first. So, you can see it's the standard old Legacy stuff with the character art on both modes, the Decepticon art. You can see some product shots and some other things you could read in this QR code. Be right back. So, taking a look at the tech specs, you can see Jhiaxus with the weird lighting effect, which I honestly still find pretty weird, and I still miss it. You can see he's a Decepticon. He has a Cybertronian jet in an alt mode. He's a Conqueror. He's from the GT universe. Energon Blaster, not really interesting. He's a calculated strategist with a vision of a united Cybertron spread across the universe. 8 in strength, 6 in intelligence, 6 in speed, and 9 in firepower. Yeah, pretty cool. So taking a look at the figure in robot mode, the painting and sculpting is really great. So you can see how they've put in a lot of effort for a character that is pretty obscure, to the point where he only had 2 toys, and even then, those 2 were just redecos of other characters. Anyways, so you can see how he looks. He looks really great. And what I find pretty cool is how they use the metallic yellow for the chest and any other painted parts, and you can see how it somewhat perfectly color matches. Yeah, I love a lot of things about him. He's pretty accurate, to say the least. And as for the bat wings on his ankles, that's pretty much the reason why I called him Namor. And if you don't know who Namor is, here's an image. So yeah. Anyways, let's just move on to his accessories now, shall we? He has 3 accessories. He comes with this Energon infused blaster, which honestly I don't really hate. You can see how they painted part of it so it doesn't look boring, and it's painted out of it's painted silver, as you can see. And yeah, and a pretty cool thing about them is that they're bluish compatible. So be right back. So bringing in this bluish effect, you can see how that looks, and yeah, it just covers most of the barrel for some reason. Anyways, and he also comes with this red blaster, which is a bit bigger, and it looks a lot better, though he does have a small magazine for some reason, and it's also bluish compatible. So just bringing it back, you can see that. And a pretty funny thing about that is that he has a port on the back, meaning he's bluish compatible on both sides. Yeah, that's honestly pretty funny, to say the least. And gosh dang it. And he also comes with this third accessory, that being the missile pods on his shoulder. Yeah. So you can see right there, it's sculpted in a red plastic, or cast out of a red plastic, and it's painted green on parts of it. And a thing you could do with it, you can place this on the back of his gun. I learned that from pre-tree at Prime Reviews. Yeah. And the reason for that would be, you can actually store away that shoulder cannon if you don't like it. As you can see right there, that's how you store it. You close his chest up, and there you go. You have a somewhat symmetrical design, and I say somewhat because of this antenna piece on the back on his head. Anyways, so where can you store these weapons? Well, it's really simple. You just plug them into each other, and you just place them on the back side. How simple is that? Anyways, so moving on to my problems. The panels on his wrists don't like to tab in properly. Like, seriously, you can see that they don't really like to tab in properly, and this one especially. Like, whenever I try to tab this in, it pops back out. I just showed that. Yeah. Another thing would be how he yellows. Well, if you look onto somewhere near his crotch plate, you can see how, yeah, it's already turning green. But then again, it only affects the figure visually, and doesn't affect him in any sort of way. Anyway, so let's move on to posability now, shall we? He has a pretty expressive ball joint at the head. You can look up that far and down that far. Surprising, to say the least. He can't really do a full 360 due to the wings being in the way. Nothing you can do about that. Forearm swivel, an over 90-degree elbow bend, wrist swivel, and a hinge joint at the fingers. At 4 of them. Anyways, waist His arms can't spread out that far, but you can cheat it by untransforming them a bit, since they're on double hinges due to the transformation. There you go. He has a waist swivel. He can kick that far and back that far. Thigh swivel. An over 90-degree knee bend, and a front bend. A backwards knee bend, I guess. An ankle pivot, and his feet can move backwards and forwards. So yeah, this figure is pretty posable, and the poses you can get him on are pretty expressive, to say the least. So let's just move on to size comparisons now, shall we? Here we have him compared next to the Piggy Duo. Just bringing them in here, as you can see right there. Here we have him compared next to a Battle Class Shockwave. There you go. And here we have him compared next to this Siege Megatron mold that I have, as you can see right there. And here we have him compared next to another G2 figure, Laser Prime. And hey, at least he keeps his G2 symbol. Laser Prime didn't do that. And here we have him compared next to Lego Knit. Just bringing him in here. There you go. And here we have him compared next to the tallest Voyager that I have, Wreck-Gar. So there you go. And surprisingly, Jhiaxus actually beats Wreck-Gar. As much as it looks like Wreck-Gar is taller, Jhiaxus actually does beat him in size. So let's move on to the transformation now, shall we? So basically, what you're going to do, seeing as how I already placed the shoulder cannon in place, you just transform the chest like this, take out the nose cone, and you just have that in, bring the head down, and then you just do this. There you have the part of the cockpit all transformed. Then you butterfly the arms together, and then you tab them in, just like so. Then you can just close the hands. You close the hands properly, and I'm pretty sure someone's hammering something. Anyways, you fold them inside, and then you tab the panels together. This one does not want to. I have to sand that down. Anyways, rotate the waist, tab the legs together, and then you bring in this tail fin. Then you just take out the thrusters, fold the feet down, then you accordion, then you fold the legs onto the thighs, tab the feet in, and then you bring in these wings. Now then, oh frick. Take out the accessories, I should have done that earlier. And then you just do this. There you go. And then you just tab these onto the thighs, as you can see right there. There you go. You fold out the wings, and then you bring them over here to this clipping, to where they can tab in. And you do the same steps on the other side. Make sure they're properly angled, because they're going to untab if they're not properly angled or in the proper port. And here we have him in his jet mode, as you can see right there. Now then, if you didn't even like the coloring on the robot mode, you probably won't like the coloring in jet mode, as you can see right here. And the painting and sculpting isn't bad. I like how they use some parts of the jet mode, of the robot mode I meant, so where it doesn't really look like shell forming on the robot mode. I don't really like how the arms are just on the bottom, but then again, that's bound to happen with jet modes. You're gonna have some amount of kibble. Yeah, even the Legacy Evolution Needle Nose does that. Anyways, so where can you place these? Well, you can place this on the bottom, and you can place this weapon on any other ports that you see, including this one on the nose cone. Yeah. Also, I'm not sure if anyone noticed this, but for some reason the cockpit section reminds me of a bit of Meteor Fire, as well as Cyberverse Ramjet. Hold on, I'll show you that in size comparisons. Anyways, so yeah, there's not much else to talk about the jet mode. It doesn't look bad, and I forgot to mention this, but he's Bluetooth compatible. That's pretty cool. Yeah, there's not much else to say about the jet mode. It's not really bad. Yeah, let's just move on to size comparisons now, shall we? Here I am comparing next to the Biggie Duo. As you can see right there. Here I am comparing next to Metal Class Shockwave. As you can see right there. The Laser Prime without the tanker. Siege Megatron. As you can see right there. 86 Wreck-Gar. And Cyberburst Ramjet. And you can see how similar the jet modes look. Especially on the mostly on the cockpit section, not entirely on the back side of things. So, my real final thoughts on this figure. He's really great. He's probably the greatest Legacy figure that I've gotten, and would I recommend him? Yeah. The transformation's great, the robot mode's really great, and the vehicle mode is pretty good. And he does get slept on a lot like Megamind. So, this is basically it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.